So you want to learn how to make $1 million and save your marriage all at the same time? Well, these two techniques can definitely do both. And if the marriage is not in need of saving, it will definitely improve it. That's right, two techniques, and they're rooted in essence of how we ask questions, meaning many of us are familiar with open-ended questions, but a lot of us have made the mistake of assumption-based questions, and those questions making us look like an ass. That's right. When we assume and we're wrong, but if we're out of rapport with people, it makes us look bad, which is traditional sales. However, we all know that asking open-ended questions a lot of times, whether that be to strangers in our business, for sale by owners, and or those that we love, spouse, partner, marriages, as many times when we ask open-ended questions, you're going to get a one-word answer. And unfortunately for some men, a one-word answer like fine, okay, good leads us to assume everything is, in fact, probably even better. And we know that sometimes that question that you asked, hey, how was last night and what we experienced, fine, was actually not fine. And later down the road, you paid the price because you didn't dig deeper. Well, when you look at the traditional assumption-based question with for sale by owners, which is the script that sounds something like, John, Justin Martin from ABC Homes. Hey, I was calling regarding your property over at 1255 Dexter Street. I'm assuming you've been getting a lot of phone calls similar to mine from agents today. And what's going to happen is assumption-based calls are going to bring you in rapport because people go, gosh, you get me. You're right. You guys come out of the woodworks. Man, I've been getting phone calls all day. So right away, you're in rapport with somebody that's a stranger. However, when you use assumption-based questions, you're also going to gain intelligence. Because if that for sale by owner said, you know what, I really haven't received a lot of phone calls, is now you can acknowledge, respond, and pivot with a better understanding or prediction of what's most likely going to happen for them. And people really start to develop trust in sales with those who can predict and foresee outcomes or what people will expect. Because when it happens, it only builds confidence and trust in you, the professional. Now let's go back to the relationships. The open-ended questions will sometimes lead a man to assume everything is fine, whereas a lot of times if we go in with an assumption-based question, our goal is actually to be wrong. See, if you're in a marriage or in your relationship, you should already have rapport. And being an ass is something that's really normal already for us. So now using assumption-based questions like, hey, honey, I'm assuming that you really loved that action film we watched last night? No, it was a terrible movie. The intelligence you get from that is finally us men really know what's happening. And so instead of asking open-ended questions to the people we love, start asking assumption-based questions, because if they love you, they're going to answer honestly. And a lot of times they can't imagine that you were that dumb or you assumed that they actually did enjoy it. So when you say something like, hey, I'm assuming you really like what happened last night in the bedroom, and they go, not at all. What made you think that? You see the intelligence that we're getting with assumption-based questions? So to close, this will, yes, save your marriage. It'll make things a lot better. And for a lot of men, assuming is all right around people we have rapport. But those that we don't, when we ask open-ended questions and how you make millions in sales, is you got to establish one technique called ARP. Acknowledge, respond, pivot. Every time you receive a one-word answer, it comes with some type of empathy response, so that way they heard you listen. You must now provide a response versus just the acknowledgement. So it sounds like, okay, I hear people tell me that good is how they're feeling each day. However, for a lot of people that I talk to, good means something different. Why was your day so well? Or what led to your day being good? You see, what will happen is you'll gain the intelligence through every single ARP. And if you're running into sales, people only giving you one word, and or relationships, when you continue to ARP, you'll turn one word into a sentence, sentences into more, which is paragraphs. And when people start sharing paragraphs, you're into a conversation. And how do you make millions in real estate? Is you got to have a lot of conversations, and the quality of your questions that you ask will lead to more appointments. And therefore, two things happen in my promise of 5 minutes or less. I'm excited for you to get past the one-word world of open-ended questions and to save your marriage or any relationship. Just be an ass. Ask assumption-based questions, and you'll find out how much truth you will get.